My name is Curtis, and I grew up in O'Fallon. I was a military brat who landed here in third grade after living in England for a few years. Once landed here, the military just chose never to move us again. So from third grade all the way up to college, O'Fallon, Illinois was my home, and Metro East is what I enjoyed. Coming in from England, I would say the minority, not just the minority because I was a black kid in the predominantly white area, but I was the minority amongst the black kids because coming from England, I spoke the most proper English that there was. So coming into the Metro East, I was rejected from all fronts. But I think God was just using that to prepare me for my story. I think my passion for diversity was birthed way back then. Through college, I began to really dive deeper into my self-indulgence, the wickedness of my own heart, and struggled with substances. And it was a year after college where God so graciously allowed me to hit a brick wall, and hitting that brick wall, God softened my heart, and I think for the first time that I could really remember, I truly heard God's voice and truly felt His presence. And I was just sitting, being a volunteer in the youth ministry. While the volunteer at the youth ministry, the previous youth pastor left, and they asked me just to be there, the youth pastor temporarily, and stepping in temporarily. God used it. I think it was a setup, a holy setup, because in the midst of me preaching this temporary message, God landed in my heart, and this is not temporary. I'm calling you to lead these kids. I met Shane Fast. Shane got introduced to me through a mutual friend named Rusty. Rusty called me up one day and said, "Look, man, I got a dude who moved here from South Carolina to serve in East St. Louis." Again, I have a passion for East St. Louis. I'm wondering who this dude is.
In 2009, my wife, Krista, and I moved to the Metro East area to start a ministry in East St. Louis. And we quickly decided to join the journey, and we've been blessed for it to be a part of our lives and a part of our family's lives, as we now have Hallie, who's 3.5, and Owen is almost 2. And so our whole family has really been loved and shepherded and cared for by the journey over the last 4.5 years. There were times where we weren't sure if we were the best fit or if God was going to use us, and obviously along with the people of the church, he decided to use us and to use the people at the Journey Metro East to really grow the church and to really solidify and fortify some things. And so it's a great privilege and joy to be a part of that. And as I thought through, so much so that I said, well, maybe this is what we're called to do full time. Maybe we should consider doing this full time. And the more we thought and prayed and wrestled, we really did not feel a release from a call to East St. Louis that God had given us about 5 or 6 years ago.
And it was through that time where Shane really adamantly said, "Look, man, I'm moving on, and I think you can really serve Journey Metro East and really Journey Global well. I really want you to consider it."
And I am so excited about Curtis coming because I think he is going to be a huge asset to the church, and we want to support and love him in his role as much as we can.
When I dream about Journey Metro East, what I see is a diverse group of believers. And when I say diverse, I mean from black to white and in between, and not just sitting in a room, but we are grinding in life together, growing in relationship together. I see a church that is diverse socioeconomically, from the poorest to the richest in our community. I see a church that not just embraces, but absolutely loves the gospel, and loves it so much they want to push it out to their neighbors, to their jobs, to their co-workers, and showing the Metro East that we are a beacon of light right here, and that we're not another church to just tell them how they need to get things right, but we are a church full of sinners who have embraced the beautiful grace of God and just want the grace shared with everybody else. Man, I just want a church that's filled with families that want to live out the gospel really, to be children and parents that say, listen, Jesus is all that we need, and we want to love our neighbors in a way that shares that. Man, I want to be a church that goes into East St. Louis, not just visits East St. Louis, but goes into East St. Louis, into its roots, and begin to change it. Man, I want to be a church where Jesus is glorified and exalted, and that's all that we're known for. We're not known for anything else but Jesus. That's my dream.